This what if will be mostly normal except a few things, so watch out. And I'm also sorry for the late posting because I was busy and some shit I guess. Now let's begin. What if female Deku had a Biokinesis Quirk? And female Deku will be called Izumi as we now start Izumi Midoriya's life. And Izumi Midori is like any other girl, playing with dolls and ignoring boys, I guess, who is bullshit. As she was taken to the cook doctor at age 4 for her quirk to be found, and the cook doctor, after doing some tests on Izumi, says that she has a quirk called biokinesis, which basically allows her to control flesh, bones, blood, and much more. And that's just the basics of what her quirk abilities are, but there could be more. And this quirk is actually very strong. And after Izumi heard that, she was like any other kid learning that they have a cool quirk. So yeah, she would be obviously try to, well, basically she's happy, I guess. And first off, would have tried to, well, would have like basically thought a lot, but basically thinking a lot until a small bone had come into existence from her hand. And that small bone was really not that much, basically smaller than, like basically a hair clip sized bone, not bone. There's a difference. But right now, good. As Izumi obviously wanted to be a hero like All Might, like original Deku, I guess you could say that. But the problem was that her quirk looked villainous, basically like how Shigaraki's Decay quirk looked like it basically destroys shit. While Togo's blood quirk is, well, basically blood, so you understand that part, I guess. And also because of the fact that Izumi's quirk, because it controls flesh, blood, and bones, and other kids would not want to hang out with her because of it and would ignore her, especially Katsuki Bakugo, if you know who he is. Also, and Katsuki Bakugo is himself in this scenario and would try to put down Izumi, basically bully her, and it would work at first until he went too far and Izumi would have fought back because somehow her quirk is making her more prone to anger, maybe a sign of unconscious quirk usage, maybe. So yeah, she would beat the living shit out of Bakugo when they were both 5, and when he broke, basically when he broke her toys, basically, and shoot an explosion, she would have done that when Bakugo had done that to her, and this would just make Izumi's reputation as a kid worse, even though Bakugo was the one who started or basically attacked Izumi first, and because of this, Izumi would have basically started to stop caring about others because of the unfair shit, I guess. And so Izumi would stop caring about other people from an early age, and Inko in all of this had done nothing because she's too nice. While Izumi, instead of being her nice, kind, and caring and shy self, she became more colder, angry, rebellious, yada yada yada, bad girl type shit. From the lack of many things like social interaction, social rejection, and unfair treatment, so she would be beating the living shit out of anyone who tried to pick a fight with her or annoyed her in any way. Because of this, Izumi had zero fucking friends, just like you, and not me, and yes me. But she actually had good looks to back it up, unlike all of us. But Izumi and Bakugo's relationship would be very well, you could say, destructive, explosive type bullshit. Wait, let me check if the mic is working. Okay, the mic is working. Because Izumi stopped giving a damn while Bakugo is still Bakugo, and Bakugo would get into scuffles with Izumi and him attacking first and Izumi beating him down every time and being suspended even though Bakugo started it all first, which basically makes her more uncaring to follow the rules. And in the school she would be quiet and not listening to the teachers, but somehow even without studying she gets perfect grades. I wonder how that happens. But I won't question it. This is the plot. And yeah, so Izumi gets perfect grades and is almost good at everything, but her personality, which is shit right now, ruins that bad girl type shit. And because of other and but it's really because of the people who made her personality like this, because they basically did not even hang out with her or basically try to nature versus nurture type bullshit. I'm not explaining how that even works. And Izumi at first wanted to be a hero, but now she does not even want to because of how she feels about other people, like helping them. Disgust. SCP-682 type bullshit, I'm saying that. But still, she chose to become a hero because it will give her a lot of money, fame, and power, yada yada yada, in her hands. So that's why she is choosing to be a hero, or I guess from Strange's perspective, if you count that as fake hero. And for now, that's why she started training. Basically, Izumi started training her biokinesis quirk and flesh manipulation, as she learned that she can change other people's bodies and her own as well. But basically, she can also regenerate her like a finger if she wants to as well, and even heal injuries as well, but not stamina. There's a difference between stamina and physical injuries. And from her bone manipulation, she learned that she can obviously create bones of many shapes and sizes. And for attacks as well, the more stronger her bones are, the more stronger the bones get. Basically, if her bones are like 10 times stronger than shield, then the bones themselves will be 10 times stronger than shield. And she also realized she can control muscles like muscular, so yeah, that's a thing. So yeah, she can also get very strong if you really count muscular, how muscular works. But Izumi can also control slash create nerves and brain signals to basically mind control people and learn about. And she also learned about cellular regeneration. And because of that, Izumi also learned about human biology and many weaknesses in the human body. But her last ability is blood manipulation, which basically works how Choso's, not chocolate. Basically, Yuji's older brother, not Toto, the other one, the one with the blood manipulation. And this basically works how Choso's blood manipulation works in JJK, but basically more compact and more controlled and more better. Basically upgrade, that's how it is. But combining all of them together, Izumi realized she can destroy a lot of things, like basically cancer cells, even cancer itself, by touching someone. And she also learned she can regenerate her own limbs and others as well. And she also learned a new ability which makes her basically almost near immortal if you count it, because she can also repair old dying cells and turn a person back younger as well. But if she combines all of her abilities from her biokinesis, only if she combines all of those abilities together. But Izumi did not tell anyone about it and only kept these abilities for herself because she stopped giving a shit about others, if you know what I mean. And don't even think about saying I can fix her, because I'm not doing this shit again. And if you want to war in the comments, then just do it. I'm not going to do shit about it. Okay, so yeah, she would. So yeah, and Izumi stopped giving a shit about others after they said that her quirk was villainous and that she would end up a villain, yada yada yada. And that's why Izumi will not reveal these abilities to anyone. And even if these abilities were revealed, she won't help anyone with it. And Izumi did not train her quirk. Izumi did not only train her quirk, but she also trained physically hard as well. And as well to be not weak, as to be not well. Basically, she trained physically hard as well to not be a weak little brat. And that's all what Izumi did in these years until she got to the age of 14. Don't look in the comments, please. And she was right now walking back home after skipping school in Aldera Junior High. This is the original school from My Hero Academia that was Deku, the basically original Deku went before he entered UA. As she took a shortcut under the bridge until she heard something as the sewer burst open, as the search villain came out, stating that he needs Izumi's body. And after Izumi heard that, she had a blank face and a scoff as well. Until the sludge villain lunged towards her, but Izumi dodged as she got out, as she used basically blood manipulation and used decompressed blood shot, basically decompressed piercing blood, as she basically knocked the sludge villain out initially, because her strength versus the sludge villain is basically down shit. As the sludge villain was easily taken down, as now the sludge villain was a pile of sludge, as Izumi was about to walk away, until out from the sewer came out All Might, saying, "I am here," as he saw the sludge villain on the ground, and Izumi about to walk away, as he asked Izumi if she did that, and Izumi nodded. And after Izumi nodded, All Might was impressed and asked if she was ever planning to go to UA, and after All Might said that, Izumi told All Might to shut up because it's none of his business. And after Izumi said that, All Might was confused and shocked at first, but before he could say anything, Izumi already walked away, as he thought to himself, she handled the villain alone, no hesitation, yet she carries such anger. And after he thought of that, he remembered her face as he took the sludge villain to prison, and that's because he has some other hero work to do. While we get back to Izumi, who is now back at home, and Izumi had said thanks when Inko gave her food, as Inko wanted to have a talk with Izumi, but Izumi did not want to have it, as she made it really clear. Why the fuck am I saying? Why am I like? Yeah, English is my second language, so I should not even expect why I'm saying this so badly. As Izumi made it very clear by saying, "I don't want to talk, mom. That's all. So don't annoy me." And after Izumi said that, Inko stopped trying to talk to Izumi, as their relationship was even more strained at this point than even before. While both Inko and Izumi felt bad, but Izumi did not put her mind on it because she needs to start training more, because she has plans to attend UA and be the number one hero for her own selfish gain. Yeah, you guys probably love this part right now. As we now start the 10-month training arc, and in this 10 months, Izumi trained alone in Dagoma Beach and had learned martial arts as well, making her own attacks that would break bones easily as well, as she had mastered her own looted fighting style, which is meant to take hits and return them with tenfold strength. And she had also combined it with CQC. If you don't know what CQC is, just watch Lookism or read Lookism, I guess. And she used CQC to make it even stronger, as she also trained her quirk as well, obviously. And she mostly trained on being able to use her quirk for hours on end and not stopping at all, as she, after training for over 7 months, was already able to fight for an entire, well, not entire day, but for a couple of days with her quirk after her previous. And this training after 7 months ended, Izumi was training in, no wait, Let me rephrase that. After 7 months had ended of this training, Izumi was in Daigami Beach training until she heard some people talking. As she quickly grabbed her towel and wiped her majestic face. As she went to where she heard the sound or talking, as from the corner of her eye she could not believe what she saw. As she saw All Might training Bakugo. As Izumi saw that, she was confused at first and also very annoyed, jealous, but she still watched how the training was going. As she learned about One for All and about the Quirk transferring bullshit. Basically, I'm not explaining, but not about All for One though. That part is still a secret. And much worse is All Might was yapping about nonsense to Bakugo, and after their training had ended, Izumi got out from her hiding spot as All Might and Bakugo saw her. As Izumi scoffed, calling Bakugo a little bitch and a weakling for accepting a quirk. And after Izumi said that, All Might and Bakugo realized Izumi heard their conversation. As Bakugo, very royally pissed, says, "You think you can talk down to me, Deku? You think I'll work?" Okay, that Bakugo impressions were absolute bullshit dog shit. Like, I can't even say it. Like, I even agree that shit. And after Bakugo said that, Izumi did not care as she smiled, saying, "Yeah, because you're taking a hand up while me and others are actually putting in effort in what we do." And after Izumi said that, Bakugo rushed in with an explosion in hand, but before he could shoot it, Izumi instantly defeated him in seconds with her brutal and dirty fighting style, which is also has Jujutsu in it as well. So yeah, she basically incapacitated Bakugo as Bakugo was thrown away as All Might catched him. As All Might said, "Young lady," and Bakugo, "Please stop." And after All Might said that, Izumi looked at All Might with a bored expression and she said, "Yeah, whatever. Just tell him I'm stronger even if he takes your quirk. And tell him if he wants to fight, no, wait, let me rephrase that." As Izumi had a bored expression as he said, "Yeah, whatever. Just tell him I am stronger even if he takes your quirk. And tell him I want to fight him to tell him that I want to fight him so that he will learn that he is just a little weakling even with receiving a quirk." And after Izumi said that, she laughed and left from there. She had a basically a evil villain type shit laugh and left from Daigama Beach.
As All Might was thinking of something until Bakugo woke up, pissed because he lost again to Izumi, as he wanted All Might to train him harder, and All Might nodded as he explained what Izumi told him, and this made Bakugo train even harder. As we now jump cut to 3 months later, Bakugo had at least gotten 3 times stronger than in the original, and as we now jump cut to Daigoma Beach, and Izumi and Bakugo there while All Might watches, and in this fight, Bakugo was only able to use OFA 8% max, but the battle started as All Might gave the go, and Bakugo rushed in with an explosion, but Izumi dodged it as she landed a liver kick which staggered Bakugo. But before Bakugo can have chance to rest, Izumi landed a devastating right hook as she was putting a huge amount of pressure on Bakugo where he could not even use UA because he has to defend, and Izumi was landing hits easily. As she said, OFA is transferred through allowed genes, and I can actually do that because of the control of neurons and drinking a little bit of your blood. And after Izumi said that, Bakugo and All Might realized what Izumi was saying was the truth. And Bakugo was fearful Izumi could take away OFA, while All Might was worried as well, until Izumi said, "But I won't because I'm not a little bitch like you." And after Izumi said that, she kicked Bakugo in the face, as Bakugo was defeated as all realized Izumi's not hungry for borrowed power. She's hungry to prove she can surpass him without it, and he respects that but also fears it. As Izumi looked All Might saying, "Once I am done with UA, I am taking your spot. But I also heard about your injury. Well, from that, and I can heal it, but won't because I'm trying to beat you, not help you beat me." And after Izumi said that, Bakugo was pissed at All Might being disrespected, loudly saying, "Don't act like you're above me. You think you're some badass just because you're strong? Heroes save people. You're just a monster pretending you're better." And after Bakugo said that, Izumi said, "There is something called free will." And after Izumi said that, Bakugo rushed towards her, but All Might stopped both of them as he said, "Young Midoriya, your power, your skill, there's no doubt you're remarkable. But that heart, that anger, it will isolate you." And after All Might said that, Izumi smiled slightly saying, "I can probably rant about how shitty my life is, but I won't. But I will heal you if you beg. And after Izumi said that, Bakugo, pissed at All Might being disrespected, loudly says, "Beg? You think All Might would beg some selfish freak like you? You're proving you're a villain every time you open your damn mouth." And after Bakugo said that, he tried to rush at Izumi, but could not because of the fight before, as Izumi with a bored looked at All Might waiting, as All Might said, "Young Midoriya, your power, your skill, there's no doubt you're remarkable. But that heart, that anger, it will isolate you." And after All Might said that, Izumi stayed quiet until saying, "I would help, but I don't know. I was raised wrong. So unless I hit my head and forget everything, I won't be changing." And after Izumi said that, she said again, "See you at the entrance exam. Try not to disappoint me." And after Izumi said that, she left. As Bakugo said, "I'll make her eat those words. I'll destroy her." And after Bakugo said that, All Might softly said, "Let's hope UA can give you something worth caring about." And after All Might said that, we now do a fat time skip to now Izumi walking to the UA entrance exam. Because Izumi did not care to ask Inko to drive her because of their strained relationship. As Izumi, after walking for a bit, she finally arrived at the UA entrance exam as she saw a girl trip but did not help as she just walked in, as she saw Bakugo but ignored him and took her seat. As the written exam started and Izumi got all the questions right, as after that ended, the robot portion started as President Mike gave the go and everyone rushed in, as Izumi instantly touched many of the other students as they were on the ground, as Izumi said, "No rule saying I can't do that, bitches." And after Izumi said that, she instantly threw a large bone attack at the three-pointer, which went through the pointer and then a building, as was destroying, as because of Izumi attacking the other contestants before this caused a little fight between the contestants as they were somewhat busy fighting each other while trying to beat robots, and Izumi was racking up points fast and taking robot eliminations from others as well, as she basically caused a lot of problem, as Nizu and the other heroes in the VIP booth are obviously surprised and shocked that a contestant attacked other contestants, as some of the heroes there stated that should be disqualifications, but Nizu said, actually no, there were no rules stated that she or anyone else can attack another contestant. And after Nizu said that, he summoned the 0 pointer, as Izumi saw it but ignored it because it gave her 0 points. And Izumi was destroying other robots until she heard a scream as it was a girl stuck in rubble. And we know this girl is Ochaka Uraraka, and Izumi helped only because Ochaka was cute, as she used blood manipulation, compressed blood shots that landed on the 0 pointer's weak spots as Ochaka was saved, and Ochaka thanked Izumi as Izumi and left from there because she can show favoritism and will show it without care. But this is where the UA entrance exam ends and Izumi is now back at home. As we now jump cut to the next day and to Izumi receiving her letter from UA and being told she got number 1 in the entrance exam with 567 points. And after Izumi heard that, she smirked, saying to herself, "Bakugo is a bitch." And on the next day, she got ready in her UA high school clothes and went to UA by walking. And after 30 minutes later, she got to UA High and went to class 1A. And once opening the door, she saw Bakugo arguing with the blue-haired kid who we know is Ida, but Izumi just ignored that and went to her seat as the arguing kept going on, as the rest of the students finally arrived, but the arguing went on until Aizawa woke up and told them to shut up because in UA they don't have time dealing with delinquents. And after Aizawa said that, Bakugo and Ida stopped arguing, as Bakugo had noticed Izumi and was about to say something explosive, but before he could, Aizawa stated that they would have to do a quirk assessment test today. And after Aizawa said that, Ochaka asked about orientation, but Aizawa told her that they don't have time for that and that they should now change quickly and meet him outside. And after Aizawa said that, everyone did what he said as they got ready and finally got out of the changing and saw him as Aizawa said, "Okay, the girl with green hair, come in the circle." And after Aizawa said that, Izumi scoffed but came in the circle, and Aizawa gave her a ball and told her to throw as far as she could. And Izumi nodded, and she threw the ball with her full physical strength as the ball was thrown 3,000 meters away. As Aizawa said, 3,000 meters, good job. And after everyone was in awe or shock, except Bakugo, who was just pissed, while Izumi got out of the circle as everyone started saying this is fun, until Aizawa stated whoever gets last in this test will be expelled. And after Aizawa said that, everyone locked in as the quirk assessment test had started, and Izumi was dunking on everyone in these tests, except Ochaka, who got number 1 in the ball throw with infinity points. But after it ended, Aizawa said, "Okay, green hair girl got number 1 in everything, but don't worry, I won't expel any of you." And after Aizawa said that, everyone breathed a relief sigh while Bakugo was still pissed, as he rushed in with an explosion in hand towards Izumi, saying, "I'm going to kill you, Deku." And before Aizawa could erase Bakugo's quirk, Izumi sidestepped and punched Bakugo in the stomach, knocking the air out of his lungs, as Bakugo staggered back, and Izumi was about to punch again until Aizawa told her and Bakugo, "Stop now." And after Izumi heard that, she scoffed, but Bakugo tried to land a sneaky explosion on her, but Izumi dodged it but did not retaliate, as Aizawa turned off Bakugo, stating if he ever does that again, he will be expelled. And after Bakugo heard that, he stopped but was still pissed as Izumi smirked, which annoyed him more, while everyone was either shocked or weirded out by this, while Todoroki was interested in Izumi and not romantically. As after a bit later, Class 1A finally ended, and Izumi went back home and smiled at making Bakugo look like a bitch. And then she fell asleep and had some dreams of All Might bowing before her as she felt happiness. As we now jump cut to a few days later to Izumi and the other students of Class 1A in class, and Aizawa explaining that they're going to have a new teacher. And after Aizawa said that, All Might came in class saying, "I'm coming through the door like a normal person." And after that was done, everyone was very in awe that the All Might number 1 hero and symbol of peace was going to be their teacher. And after that was done, All Might explained they're going to have to do some pretty cool training exercises, and the